In the cinematic tapestry of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, few hypothetical clashes excite fans more than a duel between Galactus and the Scarlet Witch. Both are icons in their respective domains. Galactus is the cosmic devourer with an appetite written in the stars, and Wanda Maximoff as a nexus being who reshapes reality through chaos magic. This narration examines their MCU portrayals, highlights confirmed feats, and imagines how a confrontation might unfold on screen. We will compare raw cosmic hunger against reality-bending sorcery, consider their weaknesses, and conclude with a clear final verdict. This is not about comic book speculation, this is about MCU continuity, cinematic tone, and story logic. So, let us step through scale, power, and strategy to answer one burning question: in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, who would win? Scarlet Witch, Chaos Magic and Limits. Wanda Maximoff's arc in the MCU is a study in escalation. She began as a grief-driven fighter and evolved into a being whose magic rewrites reality itself. Her most notable feats include destroying the Mind Stone while holding back Thanos in Avengers: Infinity War, crafting the Westview Hex in WandaVision that manipulated thousands of lives, and unleashing devastating multiversal power in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. With the Darkhold, Wanda expanded her reach, dreamwalked across realities, and faced multiple cosmic-level opponents. Her magic acts on the fabric of causality. She does not simply strike, she edits outcomes. This is her greatest advantage. She can alter perceptions, reshape environments, and create barriers that operate like new laws of physics. Yet her power is tied to emotion. The Darkhold amplified and corrupted her, showing that external artifacts influence her effectiveness and intent. Without it, her abilities may be somewhat restrained, but still profound. Wanda's victories are not brute force alone. They are precise edits to reality. In tactical terms, she excels at surprise, containment, and targeted annihilation. She can be patient, inventive, and devastating in ways that raw energy cannot match. However, she remains vulnerable to exhaustion, emotional collapse, and moral conflict. Facing Galactus would test not just her strength but her resolve and creativity. Galactus, the cosmic devourer. Galactus enters the MCU as an archetype of inevitability. Described as a 14-billion-year-old being and portrayed with comic-accurate armor, he is older than civilizations and indifferent to their survival. His method is simple: he consumes planetary life force to sustain himself. He is not cruel for cruelty's sake, he is relentless by nature. On screen, Galactus looms over skylines like a moving eclipse. His herald, the Silver Surfer, scouts worlds for him to devour. In functional terms, Galactus wields the power cosmic, granting him energy projection on extraordinary scales, matter manipulation, and defenses beyond comprehension. His presence alone reshapes landscapes, and his blasts can sterilize entire biospheres. His central advantage is scale. Most MCU threats operate within planetary limits. Galactus operates beyond them. His exploitable weakness is hunger. If he cannot feed, his power ebbs. Historically, heroes have exploited this through ingenuity rather than brute force. In cinematic storytelling, this provides a narrative opening. Galactus can be stalled or deceived, but overpowering him outright is nearly impossible. Cosmic power versus chaos magic. When scale collides with subtlety, the fight becomes philosophical as much as physical. Galactus delivers overwhelming cosmic force. His strikes do not destroy buildings, they rewrite planetary geology. Wanda operates differently. She manipulates the rules that define combat itself. She can make a room behave like a universe or bend a city to her will. In practical terms, 3 scenarios emerge. First, Wanda could confront him directly with magical blasts. This risks futility, as his sheer mass may shrug off focused strikes. Second, she could attempt containment, weaving reality to bind or disorient him, severing his connection to a feeding world, or constructing a prison. This path plays to her greatest strength. Third, she could target his hunger, denying him sustenance or altering how he consumes energy, weakening him over time. Each plan has limits. Containment requires flawless concentration. Denial demands global coordination. Direct attack requires output on a cosmic scale. Yet MCU precedent shows Wanda can influence cosmic forces. She shattered the Mind Stone under duress, proving her magic can disrupt fundamental cosmic constructs. This suggests she might touch the power cosmic itself, though doing so would demand precision, time, and likely external support. Final result. After weighing cinematic evidence and narrative logic, the conclusion remains conditional. If the MCU portrays Galactus at near full comic scale, armed with unlimited power cosmic and the freedom to feed without interruption, he rises as a force that no lone sorcerer can reasonably overcome. His sheer scale and indifference to opposition mean Wanda Maximoff could at best delay his progress, injure him with creative chaos magic, and generate spectacular resistance. Yet defeating him outright under these circumstances would stretch beyond her reach. Even at her most dangerous, Wanda remains tied to emotion and human vulnerability, while Galactus is an eternal constant, a force of nature that cannot be bargained with or worn down through fear. In this scenario, Galactus towers as the inevitable victor. But the MCU has often redefined characters to fit cinematic storytelling. If the films choose to present Galactus as a somewhat limited version, weakened by hunger, bound by narrative constraints, or depicted more as a planetary-level threat than a universal constant, then Scarlet Witch emerges as the dangerous wild card. Her chaos magic could exploit weaknesses in his feeding process, ensnare him in illusions so convincing that he starves before realizing the trick, or warp the battlefield into a space where his cosmic strength becomes his cage. Combined with the scientific genius of Reed Richards and the ingenuity of the Fantastic Four, Wanda could anchor her magic in ways that destabilize Galactus and trap him in a cycle of defeat. This would not be brute strength overcoming a god, but cunning, creativity, and magic rewriting the very rules that empower him. Narratively, the most dramatic outcome lies in balance. Galactus at full scale demonstrates inevitability, the storm no hero can simply punch away. Wanda represents defiance, the human soul unwilling to accept extinction. Imagine the scene in a film. The sky darkens as Galactus approaches, blotting out the horizon with his colossal form. Cities tremble, oceans shift, and entire continents await doom. At ground level, Wanda rises, her scarlet energy igniting against the darkness, her voice steady, her intent absolute. Galactus unleashes storms of cosmic fire and gravity. Wanda counters with waves of chaos magic that twist the rules of existence. She carves pockets of reality where his power falters, bends gravity around his steps, and redirects hunger into a loop that feeds upon itself. Each strike is a clash of consumption versus creation, raw scale against reality's author. The audience would feel awe at Galactus's sheer dominance but also tension in Wanda's unpredictable ingenuity. She would not simply blast her way to victory, she would rewrite the battlefield until survival itself bent in her favor. The thematic contrast would be clear: Galactus consumes because he must, Wanda creates because she chooses. That choice makes her dangerous, not because of size or cosmic rank, but because she represents the possibility of rewriting inevitability. Final result: in the MCU, Galactus triumphs if portrayed at full cosmic scale, the unstoppable devourer of worlds beyond sorcery's reach. Yet Scarlet Witch remains the unpredictable wild card, capable of victory under constrained conditions, if hunger weakens him, if allies stabilize her magic, or if her chaos magic exploits the very foundations of his power. She cannot always win, but she can always make the impossible possible, and that makes her the only hero who could stand as a true rival to Galactus. Check out my other videos for more epic character crossovers and battles. Thanks for watching, and stay happy and healthy.